Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a Switch slash My 2 Cent video. I mean, Switch and Gaming My 2 Cent video for this week, which is basically the final week of 2017 before we go into 2018. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on a couple of stories that came out this week, though, even though it's kind of slow. It's a little bit slow due to the holidays and so on, but the ones that at least caught my attention, though. So why don't we get started with the first one? And the first one is that it appears as though one development team that was at first a little bit on the fence about the Switch, though, but it seems as though they are going to be considering jumping aboard the bandwagon to it in 2018, and that development team is Level 5. Now, if I could get the article up, Level 5 is known to do games like Nin no Kun, or it's Ninokuni, if I'm saying the name wrong, though, or anything like that. They've also done the Yoko Watch, Yokai series as well, but for me, I remember them for doing basically... Oh, oops, I clicked out of the article. Okay. For me, I remember them of doing, say, the Dark Cloud series, Dark Cloud 1 and 2 for the PS2, and Rogue Galaxy as well. I love those games, though. I do enjoy them. But the first one I do hold a special place, Dark Cloud, because it was sort of a graduation gift I got back in 2001 after I graduated from high school, though. So anyway, it appears as though they are considering supporting the Nintendo Switch, or at least going into it, though. And again, links will be in the description of this video, so you could check out some of the stories. But this one I got from Twin Infinite, that points out that in an interview conducted by 4Gamer in Japanese, and then later picked up according to Nintendo Everything, the Level 5 CEO discussed his plans to do more with the Nintendo Switch in 2018. He says that they put their power into the new console. Level 5 has been extremely supportive of the Nintendo DS and 3DS released due to their popular Yoko Watch and Professor Layton, Layton, games on the Nintendo, on their handhelds, though. However, Level 5 has not released much of the Nintendo's home console in the past, which is true. Personally, I'm open to this. I would say the more developers that come to the Nintendo Switch, the more I think that's good, though. So the fact that Level 5 is interested in bringing some of their games over to the Nintendo Switch is very nice. Whether it's the games that I mentioned earlier, like Yoko Watch or anything, or whether it's a new IP or anything like that, remains to be seen. But hopefully we'll hear more about what Level 5 has to produce in 2018, and hopefully those games do come over here in the West, though. Personally, in my opinion, I would love to see them do a Dark Cloud or Rogue Galaxy game for the Nintendo Switch, though, considering that we have not seen a Dark Cloud 3 yet on the PlayStation system. I really would like to see Dark Cloud 3 on PS4. We got the first two available to download on PS4. We need I want to see a third one, and a Rogue Galaxy 2, or at least a spiritual successor to those games, maybe designed specifically for the Nintendo Switch. However, there is one game I think maybe this might be a good fit, and maybe this could be an opportunity to bring to the Switch as well, and maybe to other consoles as well. Although its reputation in 2015 kind of was tarnished, and I know some people may be surprised with with my decision on this, and some may disagree, but I think Red Ash should be on there as well, as a game they should bring to the Switch, or maybe to other systems as well. For those who are unfamiliar, Red Ash was that failed Kickstarter that Concept tried to do in 2015, even before Mighty Number 9 came out, and the amount of fallout that generated as well, and all that. But since Level 5 has purchased Concept, though, I think this would be a great opportunity to maybe make an RPG out of that game, and maybe like bring it onto the Nintendo Switch as well, if they're going to focus on the Switch in 2018, though. There is still that reputation and earn because of the whole Kickstarter debacle, but hopefully hopefully they'll give that series a shot though. But in either way though, it's happy to see that Level 5 is supporting the Nintendo Switch. We'll have to see what they produce in 2018. Hopefully it's something good and something that catches people's attention. Alright, we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we come back we'll get to part 2 of our story, which is revolving some comments the CEO of Nintendo has made regarding the future for them though. So we'll take a bit of a break and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video for this week, and for this one we're going to be talking about comments the CEO of Nintendo has recently made, and this one does a little bit regard about the fact that they're working on the successor to the Nintendo Switch. Although I will say, don't expect to hear anything about that one for quite a while. So in an interview, and this is found on Nintendo Everything, link will be in the description, the president conducted an interview with a few different outlets this week, including Asada. Basically, it's ASAHI though. It made some comments about such as the Switch selling through the holiday seasons. He points out it's been received well with the most important period, both domestically and overseas. And they've also have either reached or slightly surpassed their projected amount though of what they're expected to sell. And now they're hoping to sell about 20 million units during 2018. I don't know exactly which fiscal forecast, but hopefully we'll see how that plays out though. They talk about the user base for the Switch has been accepted, or whether the Switch is going to be 1 unit per person than household, expanding games in 2018, looking at providing DLCs or providing more games for the Switch and all that stuff, and work on basically their next console. Here are some of the quotes that have been mentioned about it though. They point out that Nintendo has started thinking about it. However, consumer preference always change, and technology also continues to evolve. They say AI has been used more often, such as AI smart speaker. Nintendo has to keep thinking about whether to include such technology until the very end. If Nintendo has already decided right now on how the next game console will be like, they will no longer be able to take action. Nintendo needs to think about releasing timely in a flexible way. Personally though, I'm not surprised by the fact that Nintendo is thinking about their next system after the launch of the Nintendo Switch. It's very common for them to be doing that. I mean, Sony probably thought about their next system after the launch of the PS3 with the PS4, and with the PS4 already out, I'm pretty sure they're thinking about what the PS5 might be. So even Microsoft probably thinking about what the next Xbox will be after Xbox One X has come out. So it's not uncommon though. As far as when we'll see it though, I'm not 100% sure if they're going to release a new console, at least, during the whole projected. Usually when a new console comes out every like 4 or 5 years though. Personally, given the deal that they have with Nvidia though, which would span to about 2 decades, and how well the Switch is going, I think the most likely scenario we're going to probably see, at least for the moment, is a possibility of a revised version of the Nintendo Switch. There's a possibility we could see something along the lines, and there has been some videos about it. I think Digital Foundry did one. I'll have a link in the description. If I find it, I'll put a link in the description of it. Over the idea that we could see maybe a revised version of the Nintendo dock for the Nintendo Switch. Maybe this time with 4K compatible with that. Maybe we might see a revised version of the Nintendo Switch itself. This time, maybe instead of running on a Maxwell chip that's powering the Nintendo Switch, maybe this time around they'll use the Tegra X2. Or they could end up putting Pascal into the Nintendo Switch, or even the Xavier. So there are many ways they could go with that. But to me, I think the most likely scenario is that we'll probably see a revised version of the Nintendo Switch before they decide to put out their new console. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I'm not saying they're going to release a revised one right away, but wouldn't be surprised if they do release one down the road. After all, the Game Boy went through several revisions as well, changing from making it much more slimmer and all to the point of the Game Boy Color coming out. Game Boy Advance went through this as well when the original one came out, to Game Boy Advance SP, the Game Boy Micro. Nintendo DS went through this when they released that one, to the much slimmer one, to a much larger one, to the DSi, and even the 3DS went through it, from the original one to the new 3DS, which added like a little camera stick to it though, to even with releasing the new 2DS, and now the original 2DS and now the new 2DS. So for me personally, I think that we'll probably see a revision of the Nintendo Switch first before they even do a new console though. And I'm not sure how they would do it. If this partnership with Nvidia lasts for up to 2 decades, then it's possible we might see more of the revision of the Nintendo Switch before they start creating a brand new, whole new concept for another console. But bear in mind, I'm just speculating though. I'm not saying this is going to happen or anything like that though, so we'll have to wait and see about it. But overall, the fact that they're thinking about their next console doesn't really hugely surprise me at all, and chances are we're probably not going to hear about it for a while. So I won't say, oh, you wasted money on the Switch and all that stuff. I don't think we're going to see that. But given the fact that we've seen mid-gen releases like from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro, and from the Xbox to the Xbox One S to now the Xbox One X though, I say the most likely scenario right now is we'll probably see a revised version of the Switch first before they release their next console. Alright, so this concludes this part 2 of our video. We're going to take a bit of a break, and when we get back, we're going to be talking about rumors of some delays Nintendo has that's been going around, ranging from the online service to the possibility of a larger file size for their cartridge. So we'll take a bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with the third and final part of our My 2 Cent story for My 2 Cent video, for this week. And this one regarding some rumors going around about a possibility of some delays coming out of Nintendo regarding not only their paid online service, but the possibility that we might not see a 64-bit gigabyte cartridge, at least for this year though. So let's look at some of the stories that have come out though. So we'll start with the first one about the paid online service. According to an article on WCCF Tech, again, link will, excuse me, the link will be in the description. The original story they ran was that that on an Italian website, I think Nintendo Italy, it is now explained that the paid subscription service will be available in fall 2018. That's a pretty huge delay, and one has to wonder whether Nintendo is simply having an infrastructure issue, or perhaps there will be new features to enrich players to subscribe to Nintendo's online service. As a reminder, we included the official feature list confirmed by Nintendo at the time. Of course, availability could vary between territories though. It will be quite weird in this day and age where a service and even games launch day to date globally though. Now, following after that article came out, there was a bit of an update, and according to the article, it pointed out in the update though, the official Italian website has now been rededicated or changed, if you say, to a generic 2018, falling in line with other official websites. There are two options at this point. Either someone at Nintendo Italy jumped the gun on this new scheduled launch date, or they simply made a very strange typo, or a mistake to be exact. We should know soon enough, though. There have been rumors originated from a leak Electronic Arts, of all people, document of a Nintendo Direct in January. Should that turn out to be true, which I'm hoping it is, fingers crossed on that one, it could be the perfect venue to update Switch consumers on the status of this service. We'll keep you updated either way. The other rumor is pointing out about the file sizes for the game cartridges. So, supposedly, according to The Verge, which picked up a story that came up from the Wall Street Journal, points out that Nintendo is delaying the delivery of its 64GB Switch cartridge to outside game developers until 2019, reports by the Wall Street Journal, which cites several people familiar with the matter. The Wall Street Journal notes that Nintendo planned to make a 64GB cartridge available in the second half of 2018, but pushed the date back due to technical issues. The source said the move has brought slight disappointment to some developers, especially U.S. publishers who often need a large, capable capacity for their data-heavy games. Though the Wall Street Journal says those developers now may wait for a large cartridge to be available before releasing those games for the Switch. As far as both of these stories are concerned, let me scoot up a little bit. We haven't heard a whole lot of information about basically Nintendo's paid online service. Outside of a price point, though, which I believe a full year will get you $20, though, which isn't exactly as bad as I thought it would be, though. But other than that, and other than hearing that you could play a certain virtual console game available, which we're still waiting to see if we're going to get a virtual console on the Switch or not, to possibly having it with online service and all that stuff. So we haven't heard a whole lot about it, at least as far as I'm aware of, though. If the Nintendo Direct comes in January, which I lean towards it could happen, but who knows, it may not happen at all, just like with the whole Soul Calibur 6 rumor, which didn't turn out to be true after all, so we'll have to wait to see on that, though. But if it does happen, hopefully we'll officially get some more information. And if it does get delayed, then it does kind of raise the question of whether or not they're running into some problems, or maybe there may be some new features, though. Again, like what that article says, it could be a typo as well. Someone may have accidentally typed in something and made a bit of a mistake. We've seen that happen before. I mean, I remember when someone pointed out, I think it was Game Informer, I'm not 100% sure, when Lost Planet 3 was announced, that someone pointed out that they mentioned Wii U along with PS3 and 360, which didn't turn out to be true after all. That sounded more like a typo, to be exact. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. As far as the 64GB cartridge, though, kind of mixed on this in certain ways, though. A lot of people have shouted doom and gloom on this one, especially those who feel like a lot of the games that they're going to need more file sizes to it, though. But at the same time, I've heard some people say that so far, not a lot of developers have taken advantage of, say, up to the 32 gigabytes outside of, say, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 that was released on the Nintendo Switch in Japan. That was very expensive, which I'm still waiting for that game to come over here. I would love for it to come over here if they can address some of the issues, though. And I have to say that right now, I'm not shouting the doom and gloom on that one, at least not yet, though. We're going to have to wait and see how 2018 plays out and see if, assuming this rumor is true, and that means assuming it's correct, though, we'll have to wait and hear an official statement from Nintendo, whether or not this delay will have impact on developers or not. I mean, after all, we've seen a lot of games that have come out. I mean, look at Doom, for example. They managed to get the single-player game, and the file size of that one was 16 gigabytes under the 32, although you did need to require a 9 gigabyte download if you were going to play the multiplayer. I think it's 9 gigabytes. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong on that one as well. On the other hand, we've had cases where even with the physical copy of LA Noire, you required a 14 gigabyte download. Resident Evil Revelation Collection required I think a 32 gigabyte download just to play Resident Evil Revelation 2. Again, same thing with Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. It was certainly two games. And then, of course, the most outrageous one was WWE 2K, which required putting aside some of the issues the game had and some of the criticism the game got, a 36 gigabyte download for that one. So I do agree that the storage issue is a problem Nintendo is going to have to address in some capacity in 2018. If rumors of this being delayed is true, then they're going to have to look at other ways to help out. Many will argue in saying that person needs to buy a micro SD card, which I entirely don't disagree, but with a lot of these games, with a lot of them really needing a huge file size, I think Nintendo has to look at other options like, say, a cloud service of some sort, or the ability to hook up a hard drive to the Nintendo Switch, maybe through the dock or something like that. But in either case, storage problem is going to be an issue Nintendo is going to have to address. As far as whether this will have any impact with developers and all, at the moment right now, or at least at this moment, we haven't heard any developers shout that they are disappointed, despite what the Wall Street Journal has said. No one has officially come out just yet, though, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out in 2018. Hopefully, this doesn't become an issue, though, but again, we're just going to have to wait and see. Although I can also understand some of the delays because, let's be honest, I think even with a higher file size, the games will probably cost more than what they are right now. I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to see a 128 gigabyte cartridge or a 256 though. I mean, I would love to see a bigger file size though. At the same time, unfortunately, these are extremely expensive at this moment, so it's kind of tough. But again, I'm not too worried about it yet, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens during 2018. Hopefully, it doesn't impact the Switch though, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinions, but what are yours? What are your thoughts about Level 5 supporting the Nintendo Switch? Are you looking forward to them bringing their games over? Or were you never really a fan of their games at all? And what games do you wish Level 5 would bring to the Nintendo Switch? And what are your thoughts about the Nintendo president talking about them thinking about their next console? Do you think it's a little too early for them to talk about it? Or do you think that this is not uncommon at all? Do you think that we'll see their next console after the Nintendo Switch? Or do you think that it's more than likely they'll do a revised version of the Switch before we see their next console? And what about the rumors of the possibility that their paid online service and the 64-bit gigabyte cartridge being delayed? Do you think this could hurt Nintendo in 2018? Do you think it's not as big of a deal as some people are making it turn out to be though? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And, excuse me. Feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon though. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, for Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!